Hello, I'm Kim, and this here is Pigeon, and behind the computer is Will controlling everything. Welcome to Pajama Yin Yoga. I see there are two of you tuned in right now. Thank you for joining me. Whether you are brand new today or whether you are a regular viewer, I want to just share that earlier this month we were planning on closing down Yin Yoga, but we got just enough feedback to make us really want to continue Yin Yoga in this format. But it needs your support, and there are several ways to do that, and we'll talk about those at the end. So if you joined early and are foam rolling, feel free to continue to do so throughout the intro. You might also use this time to finish setting up. I will not be playing any music on my end of the camera, but you are welcome to on yours. And then I strongly suggest having a variety of props to help you with this practice. So I have some folded blankets. Towels work well. Lots of yoga mats can work, but having some of those. And then pillows, soft and thick. And then stiffer props, I've got yoga blocks and foam roller. Books work, Tupperware works, and then all sorts of other things that I don't have with me right now, but you might have available: chairs, footstools, all sorts of furniture, yoga balls, other exercise equipment. Get creative, get inventive, grab whatever you need, whatever you think is going to help you out. One of the benefits of doing this practice on YouTube Live is that you can really focus on just having your own experience. I can't interrupt you. If you need to do something different, if you're doing another substitution or doing another variation, you don't have to worry about me coming over and asking you, are you okay? I trust you to do what you need in this time. I take this time to offer this for you, and I want you to run with it. You also can't watch other people and worry if you're doing something right or worrying if other people are going to be judging you. Yet at the same time, we've taken this time together for this experience. It's a wonderful format. We'll begin with a short movement flow followed by a seated meditation. Tonight we'll be doing 3 yin postures followed by a final relaxation. You're always welcome to do a different substitution for a movement, a posture, a meditation, and then there will always be transition time between each yin posture for movement or stillness of your choice. During this time, there is no right position or correct alignment of traditional poses because there's no force applied and no progression goal. It should never be, it might be unfamiliar, but it should never be that uncomfortable. For each yin posture, I'll suggest several different setups to suggest lines of fascial tension. That's that connective tissue in your body. I'll begin with very simple, with very few props, and then add variations and add props. While I demonstrate, it's a good time for you to really explore different positions, different setups, even if you've done it many times before. And then once I'm done with my demonstration, I'll return to a seated position to watch the time for 2 to 3 minutes. The pose you settle into should feel safe to release all muscular tension and holding while experiencing quiet sensations. This is a practice of patience, stillness, and subtlety. Let's begin. So, we're going to start with our legs both bent in the same direction, and we're going to end up on your knees. So it's okay if your butt is entirely off your padding, and your feet don't need to be on the padding, but you definitely want your knees on the padding. And it just sort of depends on what you have and what else you might cobble together, depending on where you might need support. And then you might choose to have the legs more open or tighter or closer. Generally more open and spread apart is more of a mobility challenge. So start wherever you feel comfortable being upright. And then from here, we're going to lean forward and we're going to lift up onto your knees. Nice and tall, squeeze the glutes. And then we're going to lower back down as slowly as you can, nice and controlled. Try not to fall. Now, in many cases, you might be like, I can't get up without like more momentum or like really shifting around a lot. In which case, you can grab a chair, something to put your hands on up higher, or just the ground. But feeling that engagement in your hips, both up and down. So we'll add an optional breath synchronization. Exhale on the ground. Inhale to lean forward and lift up. Exhale, lower with control. And now just moving at your own pace, on your own rhythm. Using whatever support, moving at any pace, that you can feel a balance of strength and mobility in your hips. I'm going to take one more. And then from here, whenever you're ready, I'm going to lean away from the legs my legs are on. So I'm going to lean over here. And you might just put a hand down, or you might go all the way onto a forearm. And then on the top hip leg, I'm going to lift that heel just as far as you feel comfortable. You should feel that hip muscle engage. And then put that back down. And then on the bottom leg, I'm going to lift my heel. I'm going to feel my hip engage in a different area. So lifting the heel, lifting the heel. And if you're finding almost no movement, that's just fine. Even just sending the signal to engage, to try to move in that direction, even if it's very small, is fine. If you find you have a lot of movement, a big range, one way you can change the level of intensity is by coming up taller. You might find that they don't lift evenly, totally normal. And sitting up taller, I know as I get higher, I can't lift that leg. It's fine. And then when you're ready, we're going to switch sides. Of course, pigeon is on all my prompts. That blanket's for you, pigeon. There we go. So switching sides. If this side needs a different setup, that's just fine. Find what works for you. Getting myself set up on my blankets. Okay, so don't worry about breath for the beginning. On this side, experiencing what it feels like to just lean forward and lift up, engaging in the hips. As you lift up, make sure your legs aren't allowed to just splay. Use the inner thighs, squeeze the glutes, squeeze the inner thighs. And then lower with as much control as possible, trying not to just fall. Right? Giving it a couple just to experiment with the lean, and if you need support, and if so, how much. And then you're welcome to add in a breath, exhaling, inhaling to rise, moving at your own pace, breathing fully and deeply. Feeling that balance of strength and flexibility, using them equally. I'm going to take one more. You can finish at your own pace. And when you're ready, I'm just going to lean away. Grab my extra bit of padding here, lean away. And taking that time to lift a heel, and then the other heel. Working internal and external rotation in the hips. Totally normal if it's not equal from left to right and not the same as it was on the other side. And you can keep going down on your forearm or nice and low, or you can get up higher. See how high you can go. You can do things in very small degrees. Too high for me. We'll see. Wherever you get to is just fine. Just because I can't do it doesn't mean maybe you can. So whatever works for you, play with the height, play with the lift. There we go. Okay. So we're now going to get ready for our meditation. So you want to sit in a comfortable position with a tall upright spine, and if a chair is available to you, go for it. So you just want to sit in a chair where you won't be reclining and where your feet can be on the ground. If you're on the floor, you can sit with your legs crossed, with your legs out, extended in front of you, or your legs folded back behind you. Whichever posture you choose. If you're on the ground, I highly suggest propping yourself up. I'm just going to do so with a block, but you could do a block and a pillow, block and some blankets. It depends on how you're sitting, but just getting the hips lifted, it gives you a little more space for the ankles, knees, and hips. So feeling nice and comfortable, whichever seated posture you've settled into. Palms can be down, up, or clasped in your lap. Eyes closed, or a soft, steady gaze on the floor in front of you. Imagine yourself re-arriving. Imagine yourself entering the room you are in. And as you enter, taking off shoes, taking off any outer layers, and mentally taking off any worries, any action items, to-do lists, tasks, Imagine tucking them away. You can pick them up when we are done. Re-arrive in your space. Re-arrive in your body. Arrive into your breath, becoming deeply aware, watching your breath flow in and out. Notice its rhythm, the sensation of air flowing, the way it moves your body. Your mind might wander, or it might want to actively run away. Your body might feel the urge to fidget or actively uncomfortable. Unless you're in immediate harm, simply come back to your breath. Nothing else needs to be done right now other than breathe. Let that be enough. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Nod your chin towards your chest. And opening your eyes, reintroduce movement. Perhaps doing some side bends or twists. Coming out of whatever seated position you were in, giving the legs a chance to move. And then we'll be getting set up for our first yin posture. I'm going to start by lying on your side. And petting the pigeon, or your fuzzy animal, or whoever else you've got with you. And then take your top arm to grab your bottom leg. And from here, you've got lots of options. I might simply choose to stay here, or I might choose to sort of kick my top leg out and lie down almost on my front, or I might choose to lie more on my back. So choosing the direction of roll, choosing where that top leg goes. And then lots of options for more props, so I obviously needed something to support my head lately. I can grab my foot, but that might just be too intense, too big of a stretch, or just not very accessible. Grabbing onto a pant leg or a strap, a towel, one of your softer props might help you grab a hold of your leg. And then I might choose different support. For my top leg. I might choose a different place, pigeon, for my arm, and that might want support, depending on where you are. And lots of different options. Depending on where you are, feeling stretch in the bottom leg. You might also feel stretch through the torso or through the arm, depending on where you set that up. What you do want is to find lines of stretch where you feel, as opposed to single points. There shouldn't be any intense points so much as gentle lines that feel connected. You shouldn't need any, or should use very minimal muscular contraction to help hold you into or out of the pose. So in this case, you are going to need just enough muscular engagement in the hand grabbing your foot, but that should be it. Everything else should be relaxed. It's a good practice in efficiency to use only what's absolutely necessary and not use any muscular engagement that isn't actually necessary and needed for the moment. So hopefully you've got this time to get yourself settled. And then with each breath, allowing yourself to send the signal for the muscles to let go. breathing and watching the shifting sensations. Allowing for and watching change without controlling or creating change. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. And use these breaths to help you very gently come out, releasing the leg, rolling to your back or to your front. And then taking this time for any transitional movement or stillness. You might choose to simply lie in a neutral place and notice any effects. Or you might choose more active counter movement. When you're ready, begin setting up on your other side. I'm going to just stay facing this way so that you can see a different angle. So on my side, I take my top arm to grab my bottom leg. And then from here, you have all those options of rolling towards your front, rolling towards your back, staying on your side, what you do with your top leg, what you do with that bottom arm, and how you want to be supported with any of your props, whatever you have, leaning on furniture, moving things. Getting yourself supported in a position that you can release all that chronic muscular effort. Sensations gentle enough that you can melt in. That you are safe to be soft and to settle. Distractions are normal, whether they come from within you, in your environment, or my side of the camera. Simply come back into your body, watch your breath, get lost in your internal environment. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Use these breaths to help you gently come out gradually. And again, taking any transition that feels right for you. So, see, Pigeon has decided to be a good Yin demonstrator this week. Can be as meditative as Pigeon. For our next Yin posture, you can have a couple, as usual, a couple different options. I might choose my feet together and my knees apart, or I might choose my legs extended. And in this case, I've got my feet up against my bookshelf. It makes me feel more comfortable and supported. So in either case, whichever you choose, you're going to allow the head to round, back to round, the head to hang, and gravity to carry you forward. Lots of options for propping. For myself, with my hips just on the same level as my legs, gravity doesn't help me as much as I would like. I feel like I have to use muscular contraction to push myself in. But if I lift my hips, it allows me to more comfortably lean forward. Now, just one block is only a very small lift. I've done this sitting up in a chair, and anything else you have, as long as it feels stable. With the legs extended, I could also put the blocks, one or both blocks, at my feet to give myself a little more support there. I might choose support underneath my knees. I could choose to support my forehead. The same holds true if I choose the soles together variation. Support underneath the knees, however much is necessary. Support underneath the hips and support at the forehead. As with anything, we want to, as all of these yin postures, as you get yourself settled, as you figure out and experiment with the different setup options, you want to find a place where you feel some tension, and in this case, inner thigh, and down the legs and along the back. And you want to feel that little bit of tug, but not so much that you feel that it might be dangerous, that it's unsafe. While you're in the posture, there are those times where you'll feel the urge to fidget, to move. It might feel uncomfortable. And at that point, you need to trust that when you set up, you have enough support that you're not doing damage, even if the sensations feel unfamiliar. So settling in, wherever you have landed, letting go of that last fidgeting and fussing. Sinking into your breath. Lengthening and deepening your breath. Using this breath to savor where you have landed. And when you are ready, gently rolling up, perhaps using your arms to help you come out with your legs. And you might choose to sit in stillness, or you might choose more active counter movement. For our next and last yin posture, I'm going to show you without any real props, and then I'm going to offer a propping method I haven't demonstrated before. There are lots of ways to do this, and I can't even get into all of them in one go, but we are going to, you might really just want to watch for a little bit and then experiment. But in one case, I fold the leg back and then recline. And for some people, this is actually not enough. They don't feel anything, in which case you can actually do both legs at the same time, or you can sort of change the positioning of your hips, lifting my hips higher. You can also change the angle of the folded ankle. So right now it's pointed straight back. You can also angle it out, which is not something that my body really wants to do, but my toe could point out. Lots of ways to support this, but I'm going to show you one right now, but keep in mind that there are many more. So in many cases, the line that we're aiming for is the top of the ankle, through the knee, through the hip, into the torso. So this entire front side of my body. But in many cases, the tension on the ankle is too great, and lying all the way back is too much. So I'm going to fold my blanket and add another prop on top of it. And so by doing this, I have let my ankle drop off over this edge, so it's not being as tight. And then if I just sit on the ground, this really raises my knee, so I'm going to actually use my blocks to sit up on my blocks, and then I will support the lean back with just my arms. Now, you still have lots of options here, so you could support under the knee more, you could lift the leg more, you could support the hips more, the hips could be higher. In many cases, if I had the option, I would lean against something so that my arms did not have to be the support. But if your arms are the support, you just want to rest into the bones and really let the torso go. Right? The other leg can be bent or straight, whatever feels best for you. But aiming to feel stretch again in the top of the ankle, through the knee, into the hip, and taking options and variations of this that feel comfortable and like a nice long line for you. I can certainly come down off of one of these blocks, not use the pillow, come down onto my forearms on the ground. So, lots of options, and feel free to explore ones, and if you've done this with me before and you know of a different variation that I proposed in a past week, go ahead and take that. Settling in. Letting go of holding, of resistance. Simply following your breath. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. Notice where you have landed, how things have shifted without any effort on your part. And then when you're ready, release that folded leg. You might sit up or you might roll to the side, whichever works, depending on how you've been set up. And as always, taking whatever transition feels right for you. And then when you're ready, setting up the other side, you might start by setting up the way you set up your first side, but it might be very different. So whatever you do, we've got a folded underneath one leg and reclining position, but how much folded, how much supported, how much reclined, totally fair game. Just aiming to feel all that long line in the front of the body, that it's not being held up and sort of bottlenecked in any one area. And I'll show that other setup once more. And again, I'll do this time with just one fold, one block. Options. Gently lengthening and deepening your breath. become active, noticing how the breath shifts the sensations. And then when you're ready, gently coming out, sitting up, rolling over, taking any other movement you need. And while I never stand up because my head will get out of the shot, that's always an option for you. And then when you're ready, getting set up for a relaxation, you might prop underneath the knees, underneath the head, underneath the low back. You might cover up with a blanket or put something over your eyes. And lying there, nice and comfortable and supported, bring your awareness to your legs. Bring tension and strength into your legs. Perhaps curling the toes, pulling up on the kneecaps, squeezing the glutes. And then release. Let the legs hang heavy onto the floor. Bring your awareness into your arms. Bring strength and engagement into the muscles of your arms. You might choose to straighten the fingers tight or clench fists. Become rigid in the elbows, in the shoulders. And then release. Feel your hands become soft. Your shoulders roll into the floor. Bring awareness into your torso, chest, back, abdomen. Make your torso rigid. Brace the abs, tension in the chest. Press the shoulder blades into the ground. And then soften. Feel your breath come easier. Bring awareness into your face, head, throat. Create tension, clench the jaw, furrow the brow. Press the tongue against your teeth. And then release. Gently lengthen and deepen your breath. Use these breaths to reawaken. Wiggle the fingers and toes. Roll the wrists and ankles. Reach out long and big, stretching before curling into a tight ball. Rocking side to side, and then rolling to your side. Use your arms to help you sit up gently. Come to a comfortable seated position. We'll conclude with 3 breaths together. Together, in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. In through the nose. One more. Thank you to the 6 of you who are here. YouTube just gives me a number, so it's always really nice to see who is watching. Feel free to just say hi in the chat. And then this can't continue without your support. As I said sort of in the beginning, there are 3 opportunities to help keep this going. One of them is just tell us you love it. Tell us that you like it, that you appreciate it. Tell me what you want to see more of, what really works for you. Be engaged. So you can shoot me an email, Kym@zested.net. You can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram and let us know there. You can tag us in stuff, and you can, what's on my cheat sheet? You can join our mailing list. You can go to our website and join our email newsletter list. And that's zested.net. I think that's on your screen. And then the other thing is you can let us know that you appreciate this by donating. That's paypal.me/zested. Even just $5 lets us know that you think this is worthwhile and makes a difference for us. And then lastly, if you know and love this and you know you want it to see it continue for yourself and for others to help keep it going, we've just added becoming a sustaining member through Patreon. For just $10 a month, you become a sustaining member, and then you'll get some bonus videos. In December, I'll be asking the members what they want to see for their extra bonus. Could be more pigeon, or it could be more useful stuff from me. So thank you so much. Pigeon, did you want to say anything? No? Okay. Have a peaceful night.